What's up YouTube, it's Alex Combow here, owner, CEO, and graphic designer of Snowbound Apothecary. Today I got a different type of video for you guys than usual. It's going to be a little bit more personal stories, a little bit more bloggy than usual. Ultimately the message of it is going to be as wholesome, family friendly, and as great, easy for you guys to absorb as always, but it's just going to be a little bit different this time around. So if you guys are still interested, stick around for this ride. It'll be a little different, you'll get to know a little bit more about me, so hit that subscribe button. I'll tell you why you want to hit the subscribe button at the beginning and another video in the future, so hit that subscribe button. Show me some love. Like this video, and I'll see you guys after the starter. So what I really want to start with telling you guys is my biggest flaw is my lack of attention to detail. So that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about attention to detail, processes, and how to ultimately be yourself while you stick to these processes that have been put into place from times past. I know it's easy to look at these processes and think, I want to do something different, I want to be more authentic. So I'm going to kind of give you an idea of how to do that in this video. So first off, as I said, it's going to be a little bit more about me. I'm more or less a startup in the logo design world, and I've learned a lot within the past 3 months or so that really has taken my knowledge and my clientele that I've gotten, and it's expanded it enormously. So I'm going to go ahead and show you two different logos that I did here. So as you guys can tell, my knowledge of logo design really has evolved since I first started out. That's what I want to tell you guys in this video. Lines are different. Some artists use lines, other artists don't. When you're looking at logos, you don't really use lines as much. So ultimately, the way it works in business and logo design, and really I've done a lot of thinking about this and just about any other area of business, is you have the initial framework that you do, and then you have the part where you get to be yourself. The framework that you do, for me, it's logo design. It's the grid, the outline of the actual logo, or the line work or the typeface that I choose to use. That's really the framework that's already been laid out. And that framework that's already been laid out is something where you don't reinvent the wheel. You don't do anything new. If you're looking to get potential business partners, if you're trying to be too out there, then they're not going to want to partner up with you because that's not safe. What's been done before has worked for years and years and years, and that's what people really want to stick to. And if you'll notice, like if you look back at the 1930s or the 1940s, you'll notice that logo design has really remained the same over the years. And there are different industries where things have changed, like the food service, things have changed, but then there are other industries where it's pretty much still the same, and that's like sales or logo design. And really what sets apart a great graphic designer or artist from not so great, I wouldn't say not so great, but a not professional graphic designer or artist, because everybody sticks to their unique characteristics and who they are, but really what sets apart a professional from an unprofessional artist is their attention to detail and their ability to portray simplicity over in their art. And I think this really goes over to business as well. So I'm going to use an example of sales because I've been reading Zig Ziglar's books in my free time, and watching Grant Cardone's videos. So I'm going to use a sales example here for you guys. If you want to be authentic, you have to be authentic to make a sale. You have to be you, or customers are going to see you as if you're lying to them because you're not being yourself. So you have to be yourself, but you also have to stick with the line work, like how you stick with the line work in logos. And the ironic thing is it's pretty much the same thing. It's line work. You memorize lines, closes, hooks, pitches. You memorize all these things in sales, but you throw on your own unique characteristics onto it to really make it your own. So ultimately the foundation of it has been set years ago, and that's what you want to keep. And I think that applies to a lot of different industries and business, and I think this lesson is something that separates a bigger business owner from a smaller business owner, and who can make it to be a bigger business owner from a smaller business owner. Don't get me wrong, guys. If you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Twitter, I don't own a big business, but I plan to. I have the vision in place to own a big business, and ultimately what I'm doing is I'm learning these traits, and the information I'm giving over to you guys is information that I've learned. I'm just adding my own personality traits and my own unique stories on it to give it to you guys and have you guys relearn what I've learned through my YouTube videos. And you could be someone that's been in business for 40, 50 years and you see this YouTube video and you learn a lot. Or you could be someone that's just starting out a business and you see this YouTube video and it gets you pumped, gets you want to go. I mean, it doesn't really depend to me on who you are. I just want to make sure that I get this content out to you guys. And that's how it works. I mean, I take this content that was learned from years ago and I pump it out to you guys by relearning it myself and reapplying it and putting it in my actual business experiences to be able to give you guys the story and the proof that it actually works. And that's ultimately how I see business. I think I'm kind of getting off-railed a little bit here, but I think business is very much that way. You have to do things your own way to be set apart. But it's like in high school, the goth kids. Don't get me wrong, in high school a lot of my friends were goth kids, and I love those guys. I'm still friends with them. But nobody takes them seriously because of how they dress. And this is coming from a guy wearing a kind of Hawaiian shirt and a Blue Jays cap. But nobody takes them seriously because of how they dress, because they are not with the status quo. And this is how business works too. If you fully stick 100% onto your own authenticities, then you're going to develop a die-hard following, which is great for some people. For some people this is exactly what they're after, but it's not scalable. If you want to create $1 million business, you're going to have to conform to certain ideals and characteristics that the other industry leaders are using. You have to look at their framework that they're laying. I mean, a great example of this would be if you own a restaurant and you have those unique fries that are great that everybody knows. It doesn't help if you can't make a burger. You have to be able to make a burger because the burger is the framework to a burger joint. If you can't make a burger, you're not going to be able to pull the people in to try your fries. They may hear about it from word of mouth, but they might not come back because they think you can't cook. The only thing you can cook is fries. So I think that ultimately, this may be controversial, but I think that the framework that you lay out is the most important thing to learn first. And then you slowly apply your individual characteristics onto it. Like I said before, I'm going to use a lot of personal examples in this video, and one personal example of this is when I first started doing logo design, I was trying to be individual before I was trying to be a conformist. And being a non-conformist is what makes you look unprofessional. I was making my logos too complicated. And I think that ultimately business, it's not simple per se, but it is simple at the same time. There are simple parts about business, like the framework. It's simple. I mean, you go to work at 8, you get off at 10. Simple, right? Seems simple. If you want to be able to do that, I mean, the ideal of it is simple, but the complexity comes when you actually apply it and you see what happens in each individual day and the characteristics that each day has. Some days are hard, some days are easy, some days are long, some days are fun. And I think that that's kind of a good example of how this works. You have to apply your characteristics to your routines. You have to be who you are. Another good way to explain how this works is if you look at years and years and years ago. Sales. I like sales because it's been around since the caveman days, and it might be the world's oldest trade. Hunting was a more prominent trade back then. It's still kind of a trade now, don't get me wrong, but sales is probably just as prominent now as it was back then. Somebody would trade a rock to his other fellow caveman friend to give to his caveman wife for maybe some meat. So they did sales, and ultimately the same ideals applied to the sale back then is that you want this because it's better for you, and I want you to be happy. And that's how it worked, and it's the same ideal because humans, our psychology, the way we work, is that really hasn't changed much, which is another thing that might be kind of controversial, but who we are hasn't really changed much. I mean, back in the caveman days, they still thought about what do I do for myself today or my family today, and that hasn't changed. We still think about how do we provide for our family. And it's simple. That's it. It's simple. How do I provide for my family? How do I do the best that I can to provide for my family? That's a simple framework that's laid out. You just gotta make it complex to actually stick to the framework. Thank you guys for watching today. I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope you guys subscribe to see more of this content. This was probably a more selfish video than I've done in the past. It's been a lot more about me, and probably a little bit more ranty than usual, but the framework for this video is kind of the same as other videos. It's just a little more vloggy. And whenever I get more subscribers and I get better lighting, better camera, better sound system, the framework of the video is going to be the same, but those unique characteristics are going to be what's different, and that's the message I want to give you guys today. So hit that like button, subscribe, leave me a nice comment below, and I'll see you guys next time.